Hey everyone, I'm sharing a personal story today, and I'd love for you to stick around till the end. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more stories like this. My name's Sarah, and at 29, I found myself in a tough spot, asking my parents for help with overwhelming medical expenses. They brushed me off, claiming they weren't flush with cash. Barely a month later, they gifted my brother a shiny new car. Stunned, I decided to stop funding their lavish getaways. A year passed, and they had the nerve to call, asking for help with their cruise plans, bold as ever, no hint of remorse. I gave them the blunt truth they needed to hear. If you've ever felt let down by those who should have had your back, drop a comment and tell me where you're watching from. I never imagined I'd be the one pleading with my parents for support. I've always prided myself on standing on my own 2 feet, working hard, paying my bills, never leaning on them for anything. Growing up, I was the dependable kid. Solid grades, part-time jobs, never stirring up trouble. My brother, Jake, was the polar opposite, constantly in a financial jam, always needing mom and dad to swoop in and save him. And they always did. I didn't hold it against them, not really. I figured Jake just needed more help, and I was managing fine on my own. But then I got sick. I won't bore you with the details, but it was serious. Potentially dangerous if left untreated. The treatment costs were astronomical, and insurance didn't cover a dime. At first, I thought I could tough it out. I had some savings, stretched every penny, but the bills, medications, doctor visits, procedures kept piling up. No matter how tightly I budgeted, I was sinking. Swallowing my pride, I called my parents one evening. Mom picked up, her voice all warm and bubbly. "Sarah, honey, it's been ages since you called. How's work going?" I gripped the phone tighter, nerves jangling. "Actually, I need to talk about something serious." Her tone shifted slightly. "Oh," I took a deep breath. "I've been dealing with some health issues, and the medical bills are overwhelming. Could you help me out just a bit?" The line went quiet for a moment. Then she said, "Sarah, we're not rolling in money." My heart sank. "I know, she cut me off. "You're an adult, sweetheart. You're supposed to handle these things yourself." My jaw clenched. "I have been, but this is different. It's not a small expense. I'm struggling." Mom sighed, like I was wearing her out. "We worked hard to get where we are, Sarah. We can't just throw money around." I was speechless. I'd never asked them for a cent. Not for school. Rent. Nothing. Now, when I was desperate, they made me feel like I was asking for the moon. "Okay," I said tightly. "I get it." She sounded almost cheerful. "Good. I knew you'd understand." I hung up before I said something I'd regret. That night, I lay awake, replaying the call. I wasn't asking for a free ride. I was sick, not irresponsible. I just needed a lifeline. But they dismissed me without a second thought. I told myself I'd figure it out, and I did. Working overtime, slashing every expense, picking up freelance gigs on top of my regular job. It was grueling, soul-crushing, but I managed. Then, a month later, I saw Jake's message in our family group chat. "Check out my new whip." Mom and Dad totally hooked me up. My blood ran cold. Not some beat-up used car, a fully loaded, brand-new SUV. They weren't made of money for my medical bills, but they had thousands to drop on Jake's new ride. I couldn't hold back. I called Mom right away. She answered, all chipper. "Sarah, what a treat to hear from you. Did you see Jake's new car?" My voice was tight. "Yeah, I saw." She didn't miss a beat. He really needed it. His old clunker was falling apart. He couldn't keep driving that thing. My hand shook. "So you couldn't spare a dime for my medical bills, but you had enough for Jake's fancy new SUV?" A pause. Then, in that patronizing tone she used when she thought I was overreacting, she said, "Sarah, it's not the same thing." I let out a sharp, bitter laugh. "How is it not the same?" "Because you're fine now," she said, like it was obvious. "You figured it out. Jake needed a reliable car." I exhaled slowly, my voice ice cold. "Enjoy your new family car, because I'm done." She sighed dramatically. "Oh, Sarah, don't be like that." "I mean it," I cut in. "You've got money when it suits you, but I'm out." She scoffed. "What's that supposed to mean?" I smiled grimly. "It means you're paying for your own vacations from now on." Silence. Then her voice turned sharp. That's not fair, Sarah. I hung up. For the first time, I was truly done. I'd been sending them money for years, no questions asked, thinking I was giving back for all they'd done when I was a kid. But now I saw the truth. They didn't need my money. They just expected it. I stopped sending them a cent. At first, they sent a few snarky texts, tried some guilt trips, but I ignored them. Then, a year later, my phone rang. It was Mom. I almost didn't pick up, but curiosity won out. Hello, Sarah, she said, all bright and friendly, like we were best pals. It's been so long. How are you doing? I narrowed my eyes. Fine. She laughed. Great. Listen, your dad and I are planning a cruise for next summer, and we thought you could help us book something nice. I nearly dropped my phone. My blood boiled. They had the audacity to ask me to fund their lifestyle after everything. No shame, no apology, just pure entitlement. I gripped the phone, my voice colder than I meant it to be. Are you serious? Mom laughed like I told a joke. Of course, honey. We need a little help picking the perfect one. You're so good at this stuff. She meant paying for it. That's what I'd always done. Forked over money for their trips because I thought that's what good daughters did. But when I needed them, they weren't made of money. My patience snapped. You've got to be kidding me. A brief silence. Excuse me, she said, her tone sharp. I sat up straighter. I begged you for help when I was drowning in medical bills. You said you couldn't afford it. A year ago, you told me you had nothing to spare, but now you're asking me to pay for your luxury cruise. She sighed, exasperated. It's not like that, Sarah. Oh, really? I snapped. Because it sure looks like you only care about me when I'm opening my wallet. Her voice turned icy. We're your parents, Sarah. After all we've done for you, you should want to help us. I laughed bitterly. All you've done? You raised me. Sure, but when I needed you, you left me to fend for myself while you bought Jake a new car. She snapped back. We gave you everything growing up. Families take care of each other. My stomach twisted. Take care of each other? That was rich. They'd never taken care of me when it counted. I'd taken care of myself and them. I stopped sending you money for a reason, I said, my voice shaking. You made it clear who matters when you bought Jake that car while I was barely surviving. Silence. Then her voice dripped with venom. You've changed, Sarah. You used to be such a good daughter. Something in me broke. No, Mom. I used to be your doormat. You got so used to taking from me that you didn't care when I was struggling. She gasped, then hung up. I stared at my phone, stunned. I'd braced for more arguing, more manipulation, but she just cut the call. Somehow that felt worse. I knew her, this wasn't over. Sure enough, the next day, the messages started. Mom, you're being ridiculous, Sarah. Dad, I don't know what your deal is, but we're your parents. Show some respect. Mom again. If you're going to be selfish, I'll tell Jake how cruel you're being. Right on cue, Jake texted. Seriously, Sarah? Mom's crying because you're refusing to help. I clenched my fists. Of course, she'd spun the story, playing the victim without mentioning how they'd refused to help me when I was sick. I fired back. Did she tell you they said they couldn't help me with my medical bills, then bought you a new car? No reply. Typical. I locked my phone, my stomach churning. This was why I'd cut them off. They had no remorse, no accountability, just entitlement. For days, I ignored their messages, hoping they'd back off. They didn't. The calls multiplied. Then they dragged in other relatives. Aunt Clara, Edna, your mom called me in tears. What's going on? Uncle Mark, your parents are struggling. Is this how you treat them? Grandma, sweetheart, they're not perfect, but they love you. I wanted to scream. They'd painted me as the heartless daughter refusing to help her poor parents. I could have ignored it, but they weren't stopping. So, I sent one final message to the family group chat, since Mom and Dad are telling everyone their side. Here's the truth. I begged them for help with medical bills. They said they had no money. Then they bought Jake a new car. Now, after ignoring me for a year, they want me to pay for their cruise. I said no. If that makes me selfish, block me. I hit send and turned off my phone. I hoped that would be the end. It wasn't. The next morning, my phone exploded with messages. Mom, How dare you humiliate us like that? Dad, you made a fool of our family. Jake, what's wrong with you? You're stressing them out. Aunt Clara, airing family drama in the group chat wasn't necessary. Uncle Joe, family's not perfect, but you don't cut them off over money. Grandma, I raised your mother better than this. Just talk to her. I took a deep breath. They called it a misunderstanding, but it wasn't. They'd made a choice to let me struggle while showering Jake with gifts. They'd chosen to ignore me until they needed something. I wasn't backing down just because they didn't like the truth. So, I ignored them and focused on my life. Then, Mom showed up at my apartment. I was coming home from work when I saw her outside, arms crossed, face tight. My heart pounded. I thought about walking away, but I knew she'd keep coming back. So, I strode past her, unlocked the door, and she followed. Sarah, she said sharply. I didn't turn. You shouldn't be here. Don't be dramatic, she scoffed, stepping into the lobby. We need to talk. I sighed, facing her. No, we don't. Yes, we do, she insisted. You embarrassed us in front of everyone. I deserve an explanation. I laughed bitterly. You deserve an explanation? She nodded. Yes. I crossed my arms. I already explained. You just didn't like it. Her jaw tightened. I don't get why you're acting this way. You've always helped us. That was the problem. I'd always helped, and they'd never reciprocated. You showed me my place when I was sick, and you refused to help, I said. Then you bought Jake a car. Her face hardened. He needed it. I clenched my fists. And I didn't need treatment? Her lips parted, like she hadn't thought of it that way. Then her tone softened, the guilt trip starting. Your father and I are struggling, Sarah. We don't have anywhere else to turn. I stared at her. That's not my problem. She blinked. What? I repeated, that's not my problem. Her voice turned cold. So, you're abandoning your parents? I met her gaze. No, Mom. I'm treating you the way you treated me. Her nostrils flared. You'll regret this. No, I said firmly. I won't. I walked away. She stood there, probably expecting me to turn back. I didn't. When she knocked again, I called security. Someone's trespassing outside my apartment. Please remove them. Minutes later, she was gone. For the first time, I'd shut her out completely. But I knew she wasn't done. The next day, my phone was flooded with calls, blocked numbers, unknown numbers, all likely from her. Then the text, Mom. I can't believe you did that to me. I'm your mother. Dad, you're a disgrace. Jake, Mom was crying all night because of you. Mom again. If you don't want to help, just say so, but don't come crawling back when you need us. And finally, you'll regret this, Sarah. I stared at my phone, exhausted. I'd blocked her, cut them off, said no repeatedly, but she still thought she could control me. I silenced my phone and carried on, pretending it didn't hurt. But it wasn't over. The next day, she showed up at my workplace. My manager approached me, looking uneasy. Sarah, there's a woman up front asking for you. Says she's your mom. I closed my eyes, taking a slow breath. She's not here to see me. She's here to make a scene. My manager nodded. Want me to handle it? Please. I stayed in the back, heart racing, as I heard her voice carrying from the front, playing the heartbroken mother. I don't understand why she's doing this to me, she said loudly. I raised her, and this is how she treats me. My manager returned, shaking her head. She's gone. I exhaled. Thank you. She gave me a sympathetic look. You okay? I forced a smile. Just tired of this. She nodded. If she comes back, we'll ban her from the property. That night, another message from Mom. I don't know why you're treating me like this. I'm your mother. I didn't respond. The next morning, my landlord called. Sarah, your mom just contacted me about your lease, saying she's worried about your financial situation. My stomach dropped. You didn't tell her anything, right? Of course not, he said. Just thought you should know. My jaw clenched. If she calls again, tell her nothing. If she shows up, call the police. Got it. I hung up, shaking with anger. She was digging into my life, trying to claw her way back in. I unblocked her number, sent one final message. Don't contact my landlord or show up at my job again. If you interfere in my life one more time, I'll file a restraining order. Understand. I sent it, blocked her again, and waited. Then Jake called. I answered, furious. If you're defending her, save it. He sighed. She's your mom, Sarah. She's just trying to fix things. I laughed bitterly. No, Jake. She wants to keep using me. You're being dramatic. Am I? Where was her desperation to fix things when I was sick and begging for help? Silence. She doesn't miss me, I said coldly. She misses my money. He muttered, You're making a mistake. No, I said. I'm finally doing what's right. I hung up, and this time I felt no guilt. Let me know your thoughts about this story in the comments.